Hi, I'm David Brashear with Keller Williams Arizona Realty, and this is my lending partner, Noah Kovner. He's with Cross Country Mortgage, and we're just here today going to chat a little bit about the current conditions in the market. And Noah, I was talking to him the other day. He has some fantastic offerings right now. One of the things I've been talking about is how lenders are coming up with some great options for buyers right now. So let's get right into it, Noah. So I have buyers out there. Everyone's concerned about the market right
Yep,
now. Rates are going up. They seem to be creeping up. Is that
indeed.
your feeling about it as well?
Absolutely. So, we've all seen rates come up really since the beginning of the year. And we've come to this position where, as a buyer, you are in a great place in regards to there being more inventory and you having more leverage and more choices and able to write a more aggressive offer. But the downside is that rates are higher. And most experts expect rates to drop next year. But the question is, what do you do right now, right?
Right.
In this interim period where you have a lot of strength as a buyer, a lot of leverage, a lot of choices, but rates are high. How do you bridge that gap to next year
I
when rates
know.
drop?
And that's my question to you because I have buyers, they've been chomping at the bit for years,
Yep.
no inventory out there.
Yep.
This seems like really it would be a great opportunity to go and get your hands on something that you've been waiting for. And I know those rates are scaring people. How can you help?
Sure. So we've actually kind of reinstituted some programs that existed a long time ago and then kind of went away when rates were super low. But these programs have come back because it's the right environment. So you're right. This is a great time to be a buyer if you can afford the payment and if you're comfortable with the payment. And because we expect rates to drop, we've got these programs that are temporary buy downs. All right. And at Cross Country, we have 4 of them.
Okay.
Temporary buy down has to be paid for by the seller or a combination of the seller and the lender. We can contribute a little bit to it. But because we're in an environment where you can ask for seller concessions, it's very relevant in today's market. So we've got a 3-2-1 buy down, a 2-1 buy down, a 1-1 buy down, and a 1-0 buy down.
Okay.
What that means is
Yes.
that in your either first year, your payment would reflect an interest rate that is anywhere from 1% to 3% lower than the permanent rate of your loan. Now, we are qualifying you on that permanent rate. So we're putting buyers in a position where they can qualify for the highest payment they're going to have on that program. But let's say we locked you today at 6.875 and we used a 2-1 buy down that was paid for by seller concessions. The first year, your payment would reflect a payment as if your rate were 4.875. And then next year, 5.875. And then from month 25 on, that permanent rate of 6.875. Now, our hope is during that time we can refinance you into a lower rate.
Okay.
Fannie and Freddie's forecast next year for rates is in the 4s.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm that optimistic, but even if we're in the 5s and that first 12 months, your payment is reflective of a rate of 4.875, that really does a great job of bridging the gap until we can refinance you.
True. So it sounds a little bit like one of those old adjustable rate mortgages. Is that the same idea? It sounds a little safer because if I'm hearing you right, you're putting a permanent
Yes.
price on the top
Correct.
there
It is
that
a
you start
fixed
out
rate
and qualify. Okay.
Yep, it's a fixed rate loan. Those first 2 years where your payment is as if your rate is lower, the rate is actually the same. What's being done is an escrow account is being created
Uh-huh.
where the difference in the payment between your permanent rate and that temporary rate is going to hold funds. So every month that client writes their check for their mortgage payment, the mortgage servicer is going to contribute essentially the difference between that permanent rate payment and the temporary rate payment. So there's a difference of $500 per month between what that 6.875% rate would indicate and a 4.875% would indicate. They're going to write the check and then the servicer is going to send that extra $500 in. And every month that happens, that's the way it's going to go until you get to the second year and then the same thing. The other benefit here is let's say after 12 months you do refinance because rates have come down.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully.
Yes,
Yeah.
hopefully. That money that's sitting in the escrow account that was there to make up the difference in the payment goes as a principal reduction.
Oh, wow.
So you don't lose the benefit of having that temporary buy down.
So there's no prepayment penalty or anything. That's
Not at all.
actually a benefit that's going to help you out.
100%. And you
Ah.
know where your cap is. It's
All
a
right.
fixed rate loan. Again, we're qualifying you on that permanent rate. So we know you can afford the payment. People get a little bit scared when they hear that because I think, am I being put in a position where I'm not going to be able to afford this payment going forward?
Right.
The reality is we are qualifying you on that last payment on the permanent rate. So there's no concern there.
That's great. So they don't have to worry about it hopping up to something that they're not aware of. Okay.
Exactly.
Good. So another issue that I'm coming across with some of my clients, they really want to take advantage of this market and buy because there's homes available. You know, they're seeing homes come on that they've been wanting to be in that area, or they need a bigger house or something, and they're ready to move or willing to move. The problem is they have a home to sell. So how is there anything that you offer that could address that scenario for clients?
Okay. Absolutely. And we actually have 2 clients right now who are using this product, and it's called a bridge loan.
Okay.
And essentially what a bridge loan is it's a temporary loan that accesses the equity that you have in your current primary residence so that you can go and make an offer on a new home that's not contingent on the sale of your property, right? So a lot of people who've purchased homes over the past, 5, 6 years, even a shorter period of time, quite honestly, have a ton of equity. And maybe that perfect home shows up, right? It's in the neighborhood they want, the school district they want. Maybe it's a rare layout, or that one specific home they've been lusting after finally hit the market.
Right.
But shoot, can we sell our home in time in order to get the cash out? And that can be tough. So this bridge loan is a 4-month loan. And what it does is it accesses the equity in your property, and it allows you to use that money towards the down payment on the new home. During that time, you don't make a payment on the bridge loan. Essentially, it's just calculating daily interest. And when you sell what would be your old primary residence, then it just gets paid off.
Wow.
So there's no additional payment required. The actual bridge loan process is relatively painless. We don't have to do a full appraisal or anything like that. It's a broker price opinion, which a real estate agent who's not party to the transaction can complete. And it's a pretty simple, easy process and a great way to make an offer on that dream home without having to be.
And now, is that person going to be carrying multiple loans at the same time?
They will.
Okay.
So they do have to qualify for both payments. And even though there's no payment on the bridge loan, they have to qualify to carry that payment as well. And the reason being is we want to make sure that we're not putting somebody in a position where, shoot, if it takes them 2 months to sell that home, that they're in a really tough spot. They have to be able to qualify to cover the new payment, their old payment, and the bridge, even though there's no payment on that bridge portion. So it ensures that somebody's not overextending themselves during the process.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And just another question. I don't think we were prepared to talk about this, but some buyers are waiting for the price to come down, right? They see the prices, they have come down a little bit, and they just keep waiting for them to come down. I guess maybe trying to time the bottom, but that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Is that regarding the way rates are going? Do you think it's a good idea to try to wait for the lowest price on the house, or,
almost an impossible question to
Right.
answer. Nobody knows where the bottom is. My advice to buyers and what we're talking to them about right now is this right for you in regards to the quality of your life? Are you buying this home because you had another child, or maybe all of your children have moved out of the house, or there's a specific neighborhood you want to be in, or it is that dream house we were talking about? It's impossible to time the market, right? That old saying of time in the market, not timing the market, really holds true. The issue that I would caution people against is there are people who are waiting right now to see what's going to happen with rates and prices. And the issue is if you wait for all that pent-up demand to come back to the market because you feel like, oh, now's the right time, you're kind of going to be in that same spot we saw the past couple of years, where there's not enough homes, where you have to make an offer maybe you're not so comfortable with just to get it accepted. Right now, we're kind of in this unique moment where if you can afford the payment and you find the right home for you and your family, this is going to improve the quality of your life. You've got a ton of leverage as a buyer, more leverage than we've seen in years.
Yeah, I agree. They can ask for concessions,
Yep.
ask for repairs.
Yep.
You weren't able to do any of that stuff
No, if you 6
until
months
now,
ago,
so it's quite a difference.
6 months ago, if you told somebody, hey, you'd be able to write an offer where you could ask for repairs, ask for seller concessions, not do anything with your appraisal contingency, people would say you're nuts.
Right.
And this market, I don't think is going to last that long, because I do think we're going to see rates come and settle, and that's going to put more buyers back in the market. So if you can afford to do it now, this is probably a small window in time where you really have the most leverage you might have in quite some time as a buyer.
That's great. Well, that's fantastic information. I really appreciate you sharing with us today. So if anyone out there is looking for someone that's knowledgeable about the market and can really sit down and consult with you, there are options. If you want to buy a house, make sure you sit down and talk with Noah and figure out what he can do to help you make that happen. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today, and we'll hope to do it again sometime soon.
Absolutely. Pleasure's all mine, David.
Thank you.
And likewise, if you are looking to buy, make sure you do have experts in your corner.
Yep.
And David's fantastic. He's a great advocate for his clients, a lot of experience, been around a minute, and can definitely help you find that right home.
Thanks a lot, Noah.
Have a good one.